लोकनाथ जी 5 मिनट पहले आ जाना। वेल डियर लर्नर्स, आई वेलकम यू ऑल in the session on branch accounts part 3. Well friends, you have learnt about the system of accounting for a dependent branch, and dependent branch is usually a small branch which merely functions as a sales depot. It means the dependent branch makes the sale on the behalf of the head office, and it does not keep the full system of accounting. It absolutely depends upon the instructions and upon the system designed by the head office. The main accounting records for such branches are maintained by the head office. So let us see how the transactions are recorded in the books of the dependent branch. So, but when a branch function as an independent unit and enjoy certain amount of operational autonomy, it keeps full system of accounts. Such branches are termed as independent branches. So, well dear learners, we have learned so far how the accounting is maintained, how the transactions are recorded as far as the dependent branches are concerned. As I have made it very clear that branch accounts are maintained in the books of the head office, and as far as the dependent branches are concerned, dependent branches do not have a full system of accounting. Therefore, the accounting transactions are to be recorded by the head office. So, today in the present session, we will discuss how the independent branches carry out their operation and how the transactions are recorded, how the books of accounts are maintained in the books of the independent branches, where the independent branches have certain amount of autonomy, and keeping the autonomy into consideration, what sort of transactions they can record in the books of the account and how transactions are recorded. So all the these operational sort of things we will discuss in the today's session. So independent branches maintains complete set of books on double entry system, but as far as the dependent branches are concerned, where we do not have the full system of accounting, depends upon the instructions of the head office. The independent branches prepare their on trial balance, profit and loss account and balance sheet, and at the end of the accounting year, their summarized results and the assets and liabilities are incorporated in the books of the head office. So today in the present session, we will learn how does the head office incorporate all branches balances in its book and what sort of records are maintained for mutual transactions between the branch and the head office. Accounting system of an independent branch. The main features of the accounting system of independent branches are as follow. The first one is the branch opens a head office account in its book. It is a personal account wherein all the transactions between the branch and the head office are recorded at the branch level. Then the head office also maintains a branch account, So it means when the transactions are recorded by the branch, so branch generally keeps the account of head office, and when the accounts are maintained by the head office, then head office will maintain the branch accounts. Fourth one is, at the end of the accounting period, the branch prepare its trial balance and the final accounts and send their copies to the head office. So it is quite obvious that when the financial year comes to an end, the trial balance and the final accounts prepared by the branches are sent to the head office for final incorporation. As soon as the head office receives the trial balance from the branch, it compares the balance in head office accounts as shown in the branch trial balance with the balance in the branch account as it appears in the head office books. Yes, it is quite obvious that when a copy of the trial balance and final account is sent by the branch to the head office, then of course the head office will compare the balances shown by the trial balance and final accounts maintained by the branches with the balances shown by the head office, and then in case if any discrepancy is find, in that case the correction is need to be incorporated, and after making the necessary adjustment only then the final accounts is prepared. Then after reconciling the head office accounts balance with the branch account balance, the head office passes the necessary journal entries for incorporating the various branch balances in its books. Yes, of course, when the head office receives the balances sent by the branch, in that case head office will pass the necessary entries for the incorporation of various balances in its book. So here with the help of the illustration we can record in the books of the head office and branch accounts. So let's see that how such items are recorded in the books of the head office. So the illustration is that give the journal entries that would be passed in the books of the head office to record the following transactions. So we have been provided with the various informations, and with the help of these informations we have to pass the journal entries in the books of the head office, and these informations are relating to the informations provided by the branch. First one is goods amounting to rupees 1000 transferred from Madras branch to Bombay branch. So there are two branches, the first one is Madras branch and the second one is Bombay branch. So if the goods of rupees 1000 is transferred by Madras branch to the Bombay branch under instructions from the head office, then the journal entry is very simple: Bombay branch account debit to Madras branch. It means the receiving branch account will be debited and the branch which is forwarding it will be credited. So one of my very sincere suggestion to my learners is that they should have a complete knowledge of rules of different sort of accounts. So here you might observe that those rules are strictly followed here while passing the journal entries in the books of the head office. So here both the branches, that is Bombay branch and Madras branch, both are the personal accounts, and here we have applied the rationale of the personal account, debit the receiver. So it means the receiving branch will be debited and credit the giver. So the branch which is transferring the goods account will be credited. So very simple, the journal entry is Bombay branch account debit to Madras branch. So Bombay branch is the receiving branch and the Madras branch is the sending branch. Then the second transaction is depreciation on branch fixed assets account maintained by the head office. So the amount of the depreciation is 4,000 for Bombay branch and 6,000 for the Madras branch. So it's very simple that the amount of depreciation for the Bombay branch is 4,000. So here the journal entries are to be passed in the books of the head office. So therefore the head office will debit the account of the Bombay branch by 4,000 rupees and Madras branch for 6,000 rupees, because it is categorically mentioned that the amount of depreciation on branch fixed assets rupees 4,000 pertains to the Bombay branch and rupees 6,000 pertains to the Madras branch. So here the head office will debit the individual account of the branch in order to neutralize the effect of the depreciation. So here Bombay branch account is debited to branch fixed assets by rupees 4,000, and the same entry will be made in case of Madras branch also. So here in case of Madras branch, Madras branch account will be debited to branch fixed assets with the amount of rupees 6,000. Then the third one is a remittance of rupees 6,000 made by the Bombay branch to head office on December 27, 2018. So Bombay branch had remitted the amount of rupees 6,000 to head office on 27th of December 2018, and goods received by the head office on January 7, 2019. So here the journal entries are being passed by the head office on 31st December 2018. So on the date of closing of accounts, the goods which has been forwarded by the Bombay branch to the head office has not reached yet. It means the goods is in transit. So the amount of goods which is in transit, which we have not received so far, it is an asset for the head office, it is an asset to us. So therefore you all might be well aware that all the assets have a debit balance. Therefore goods in transit, or if here it is not the goods, if it is the amount of rupees 6,000, so cash in transit rupees 6,000 account debited to Bombay branch, because it is the Bombay branch which is remitting the amount of rupees 6,000 to the head office. So as I have made it very clear that the account of Bombay branch or Madras accounts are the personal account. Therefore while involving either Bombay branch or Madras branch, so the rules of personal accounts are followed, and as per the rules of the personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. So it is the Bombay branch which is remitting the amount to the head office. So therefore the journal entry will be cash in transit account debit to Bombay branch. Goods in transit or cash in transit account debit to Bombay branch. So if the goods have been remitted, then goods in transit will be debited. If cash has been remitted and it is not reached to the head office yet, then cash in transit account account will be debited. Then the next one is fourth one, goods worth rupees 10,000 sent by head office on December 25, 2018 and received by the Madras branch later on January 15, 2019. So well, dear learners, as we have make it very clear that the accounts are closed on 31st of December 2018. So here the goods sent by the head office worth rupees 10,000 is not reached to the Madras branch yet. So therefore this is the goods in transit. So again goods in transit is reflecting the asset for the head office. So goods in transit account will be debited, and the journal entry is very simple. Madras goods in transit account debit to Madras branch 10,000. So here 10,000 is the amount which has been involved. Then the next one is a sum of rupees 10,000 is to be charged to the Madras branch for administrative services rendered by the head office. So when the head office renders any sort of services, then the Madras on account of any branch, then that particular branch will be debited and that amount will be transferred to the profit and loss account, because all the expenses and losses, revenues and income balances need to be transferred to the profit and loss account in order to close the balance. So here the amount of rupees 10,000 on account of administrative expenses spent by the head office will be debited to the Madras branch. So amount of closing stock is given 9,200. So the learner must remember that this amount of rupees 9,200 is given outside the trial balance. So therefore the impact of this amount of rupees 9,200 will be recorded minimum at two places. Pass the necessary journal entries to incorporate the Kanpur branch balance in the head office book and prepare the Kanpur branch account in the books of the head office. So here we have to record the journal entries and we have to prepare the Kanpur branch account in the books of the head office. So first one is Kanpur branch account, Kanpur branch trading account debit to Kanpur branch. So here opening stocks and good received. So you might see that opening stock is 12,000 and goods received from head office is 32,000. So dear learners, keep one thing in your mind, that any transaction which is supposed to be recorded in the debit side of trading account. So you know that the opening stock and goods received from head office, both are the items which need to be recorded in the debit side of trading account. So any item, or it may be a direct expenses also, so any item which is supposed to be recorded in the debit side of trading account, so for that the journal entry is very simple. Kanpur branch trading account debit to Kanpur branch 44,000. So amount is 32,000 and 12,000. So total is 44,000. Then the next one is Kanpur branch account debit to Kanpur branch trading 54,800. So here the amount is sales and closing stock. So dear learners, these are the two items which are supposed to be recorded in the credit side of the trading account. So here if we make the total of sales and closing stock, it comes to 54,800. Let's check it. So sales is 45,600 and the amount of closing stock is amount of closing stock is 9,200. So if we make the total of this, it's very simple, it is 54,800. So this journal entry is reverse to the first one, because in the first journal entries the transactions were supposed to be recorded in the debit side of trading account. That is why this journal entry was made, and as far as the second entry is concerned, it is meant for the transactions which are to be recorded in the credit side of the trading account, that is closing stocks and sale. Then the third one is Kanpur branch trading account debit to Kanpur branch. So here when we need to prepare